Hey guys, it's Mahay here, the immersion coach. I hope you're well. You know that I love to interview people that I just think are so inspiring, and today I've had the huge honor of being interviewed by this guy. But when we got chatting, he inspired me so much that I just had to catch a very quick interview with him. This guy's Dhillon. He's a serial entrepreneur, very successful entrepreneur, and he'll tell you a bit about his story himself. And only a very short while ago, he launched a podcast, a mentoring business podcast, and it's already reached #1 in iTunes with a following of how much is it?
We've got 100,000 subscribers at the moment.
That's incredible. In 47 countries.
47 countries, yeah.
And that was how long ago did
that was when we launched this, 7 weeks ago?
7 weeks, guys. In 7 weeks, 100,000, 47 countries. That's just like unbelievable. You know, it's the stuff of dreams, isn't it? But, you know, if you were to listen to Jay's story, you'd think that Jay has got a dream life. And to many, he has. You know, he inspires me so much just listening to him talk about his business. But it's not always been like that. You know, every business, we were talking earlier on, starts with a phenomenal dream, incredible mindset, and the action that goes in accordance with that. So I just want to ask Jay, you know, what was a dream for you?
So my dream was always to have a business that I love doing, and something I could be proud of, my family could be proud of, and that was really the ambition. You know, as Punjabis, and we've talked about this, we've always been entrepreneur type people anyway. Yeah. And I just wanted to follow. You know, with my granddad when he came here, you know, they had nothing at the time, and just an entrepreneur. I think it's inside everybody, to be honest, and that was my dream, really, to make it successful and to help and inspire other people as well.
I think everyone has a dream, don't they?
Yeah.
It's but I think you'd agree with me that pretty much everyone has a dream. Whether they share it openly or not is a different matter. But not many act upon it.
That's right. I think you have to have a dream, like I did. You have to then put some action behind it. I think one of the frustrating things is if you've got a dream and you don't do any action about it, then the regret thing is more painful. Now, I think there was a guy who posted something, which is he went to all these care homes and he asked loads of questions.
Yes.
The biggest thing was regret. And if you've got something and you're passionate and you've got a dream, yes, you've got to have more than one. You've got to have something that's going to be determined, and that's what I did with my agency. You know, I was more.
So determined. We just mentioned the agency there. I was going to say, you know, if you think Jay's just about podcasting, that's just something he started 7 weeks ago. Yeah. But Jay, just tell us about some of your high points.
Yeah, so I started my business in 2005 with not much money, to be honest. I went into an area, it's called Burton-on-Trent, which I can remember doing the research. There was 270 agencies already out there. Wow. So there was a lot of competition. That put anybody off. But I had a burning desire to really succeed at this business.
So there's 280 recruitment agencies in a it's a small town, Burton-on-Trent, in a very small town. But nonetheless, you decided you wanted to go there.
I was just passionate, you know.
Wow.
I'd seen other people do it, and I wanted to do it myself. And there's a few people who didn't think I'd do it. They didn't think I was going to succeed, but I did. Yeah. So we went there, and the highlights was we grew within the first 2 years to a couple of million turnover.
Wow.
We had
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Competing with 280 others.
We probably came. At that time, we were top 5 or 6
That's incredible.
Agencies that we were called upon. We got featured in the papers quite a bit. And it was just fantastic growth. And to be honest, you know, even though I had the dream, I didn't have the detail step by step, but I just kept doing the things, the small little things, day by day. And after a while, you know, things happen. You know, I recruited some great staff, and you know, just by doing things do sometimes happen.
You know, what I love about this guy. He's just like me. He's so humble. It's incredible. And you know, we've just had the most beautiful conversation early on. I really resonate with Jay. Yeah. But Jay, I'm going to sell you a bit more.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
cool.
So you actually got that business to £5 million.
Yeah, turnover. 5 million turnover. We had at the time 500 payroll staff on our payroll. We had clients: Land Rover, Jaguar, Toyota. I don't know if you guys know the New Look brand. The New Look.
New Look's like a massive clothing chain in the UK, for those of you that don't know.
So we were the first fulfillment partner for them. We grew it to an extensive amount. We had 2 other sites, one in London, one in Leeds. So we had 3 branches. It was quite.
That's incredible. I mean, you're talking about some huge brands there, international brands even, Land Rover and Jaguar and stuff like that. So how did you get into those companies?
I'll be honest, a lot of mindset. Now I'll tell you why, because we were tendering with like big clients. So you go to a tender, and I had to really, and I was quite young at the age. Got a lot young anyway. Get the words out now, but and I felt like these older guys who were like 60, but I had to like control my mindset and say, look, I'm good enough for this, Right. If I can present to them, I knew we had a good brand, I knew we could deliver, I knew we had a good team, and a lot of it down to mindset and persistence, and making sure I did all the work, the research, the tender documents, make sure I had the right people. Wow. And then a bit of luck, because we put a lot of time into it.
You make your own luck.
And look, sometimes we didn't win the contracts, and then the big boys would fail, and we'd get in that way, But I was blessed, but we did the right things at the right time. You got to believe in yourself. I was young. We didn't have a major bank behind us, but we would still be able to supply Land Rover and Jaguar,
That's incredible. Yeah. That's absolutely incredible. I love to hear stories like that, because this is just like a normal person, a normal human being who had a dream, followed a dream, had all the sort of the worries and concerns and doubts that we all have as human beings, but just went on despite all of that. Yeah. And took the chances, didn't you?
Yeah, took the chances, and and one of my another dream was to sell something, right? Yeah. So if you can imagine a recruitment agency, it doesn't own anything, so it's paper. So we help people get jobs, and it's that piece of paper which I drew it on. That's the asset basically. Right. The office is always leased, that kind of thing. And then in 2013, where I'd fulfilled everything in the recruitment, I just wanted to make sure that I left a bit of a legacy in that game. Yeah. And thankfully, we grew to such a turnover that we got interest from a London company, investment company, and they made an offer. And listen, selling a business is one of the hardest things you can do.
I've heard this.
When you're not physically selling an asset like a house, selling a house or a car is easy, right? Yeah. But when they're taking a moving chain, coach or boat, whatever you want to call it, it's really difficult because you're juggling all these plates. You've got to keep them balanced, because at the time of sale, you still got the staff on there. Yeah.
Because the staff go with the business.
And I can remember, and I'm not sharing this with anyone actually, I think I broke down. When I sold it was so much energy that I kept to myself, because no one has really sold a business of that type. Yeah. And I was trying to reach out to people, but no one sold it, And I can remember, break it down. But that's pure joy, really, of achievement, of doing something. And someone actually gave me something, something I created. It's like giving I won't say give a baby away, but it's like giving something that you've nurtured. Yeah. And someone said, we like that. You've done a good job here. Do you know what I mean? So
it must have been such a poignant moment in your life. Yeah. You'd worked hard creating this business, and you were taking a step back altogether, but you knew that you're still looking after your staff because they went with the business, so they weren't losing their job.
Well, it's a funny thing, because one of my best friends, I brought him back into business, he's come and gone kind of thing, and I can remember making sure that all my staff, I couldn't tell them. This is the worst thing, when you're selling a business, you can't disclose it till the day of the sale.
Oh wow!
And I can remember going in and telling the team, and they like me obviously, they got on well with me, and they were like quite upset. And I sat them down and said, look, these guys will take you further than me. And at the time it was quite difficult, because they've been with you all this time, and so they came in. I said, you're going to get this pay rise, they're going to do this for you. I made sure they were looked after. I made sure that everyone there was still in a position, and I made sure the company buying it would then take it further, and they have, and it's still running. They've expanded, and I'm happy to see them doing well.
That's incredible.
When you sell something, someone gets value at that.
But it's given you an opportunity to have a think about the next stage of your life. We were talking earlier on, and Jay was actually talking about my business, and I was saying, well, the way I see it is that I need to get my business to here, build that solid foundation, then I use that solid foundation to take my business to there. So you're doing that already, aren't you? You've built this incredible business, solid foundation. you're now doing something else.
Yeah.
Which is the podcast.
Podcast, yeah.
And you're also...
I've got a recruitment company called recruitingboss.com,
Yeah.
which helps smaller businesses
Yeah.
because they can't really afford the fees.
Because you can't get away from recruitment.
I can't. Well, the funny thing is, I sold the business, and I can remember the first conversation was in a carpet shop with one of my friends because I do some property investing, and he said, "Look, I need some staff." I said, "Go to the agency." He goes, "Well, I can't really afford to pay that." So I thought, okay, right, what can I create here? So I created a platform where they can pay a small fee, but we advertise the jobs for them, and they can then sort them out.
Spoken like a true entrepreneur, that is, because you know, even in conversations, he's looking for the gaps, and he's just seen a gap straight away and thought, how can I help? How can I fill this gap for people? How can I help people? And that's what an entrepreneur does. You know, they're like inventors. I think you know you have to be consciously thinking about, is there a different way of doing something? But Jay, I want to ask you. What have been, if you were to talk about the biggest challenges that you've had to face, what would they be?
I think the biggest challenges is yourself. I think you're your biggest challenge, and getting the right knowledge and support. And I tell you what I mean by that is, when I had the challenge with my business, and starting stage is always difficult, don't get me wrong, but then problems you can kind of handle. When you start going a bit higher, if you haven't got the support, all the tools, all the knowledge, it's very difficult. And I think in 2008-9, when the recession came, it was a point where I could have failed because I didn't have the knowledge. But then my mentor came and helped me, and that's why I do mentoring. Well, I'm creating a program to help more people. I do mentoring as well, and I think that's really important. Getting mindsets, and also invest in yourself. You know, Cole does a great job at igniting yourself. When you ignite yourself, if I forgot that terminology, is like when you have a tough times, you'll call upon that knowledge.
100%.
And that's what all it is. And yeah, there's books out there, there's loads of things you can read, but doing one-to-one stuff, even me and Cole sitting there, we've just talked about so much stuff because you mentioned the energy.
It's so very true. You know, because we're only human beings. Whatever level of success we've got to, we're only human beings. So as human beings, it's really good to sit down with somebody who gets you, who understands you, who has your back and genuinely wants you to do well. And I find those conversations are the most refreshing conversations. But you have to be vulnerable as well. You have to be prepared to be vulnerable and open, and not put this mask on and say, yeah, do you know what, everything's fine. Well, everything might not be fine. And I think that's the power of our
I just want to touch on something because I think when you're trying to get in business, or you're trying to get something like your life, whatever, I think we touched on this in the podcast, is you're trying to reach out to this magic person. And I think what I've learned is, and I've met with a billionaire only a few weeks ago, is no matter what, your values have got to be aligned. So don't take advice or talk to someone because they may be really good, but if they start putting you down and start saying to you, no, you're wrong here, I'm right. Look, there's the most successful people I know, barring a few, 9 out of 10 people, their values are always to help other people.
Yeah, 100%. Jay's just interviewed me for his podcast. What an honour that was, by the way. But we were talking about, 99% of the world is good. People genuinely want to help each other. And so don't be put off by those people who put you down, who do something wrong to you. And don't judge the rest of the world by that. I was a police officer for all those years, and we saw nothing but the bad side of life. So many of my former colleagues actually started seeing the world. They actually believed that most of the world was bad.
Yeah.
And I was saying, no, they're not. We're just dealing with some of the bad stuff. That's all right. It is.
That's right.
You need to not become jaundiced. And the other thing that Jay very importantly talks about is when you're mixing with people, when you're talking to people, make sure their values are aligned to yours. If they've got good values like your values are, then you're going to get the best out of that interaction. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're training events and come to your events, or I go to quite a few events to learn myself. And by the way, you should never stop learning.
No, 100%. Growth mindset, guys.
We were just talking about Cole, who's going to talk to really top level CEOs, because everybody needs that help. Whether you're starting off, whether you've got any problems in your life, it can be solved, but you've got to reach out and go to these events and meet people one-to-one. You can watch as many YouTube videos, and they are good, don't get me wrong, but if you get an opportunity to meet with someone, go out and do it,
100%.
Get the opportunity. The energy you get is so much different.
So if you were to leave the viewers here with one really beautiful golden nugget that's going to help them shift their life, what would it be?
Okay, I would say believe in yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, I went in an industry which is probably the toughest industry, and I was not even a gifted salesperson, but I believed in myself. And you might find that uncomfortable to start off with, but we were talking about routines and rituals and stuff. If you constantly start saying it yourself, not like, you know, sit in the window and start saying it, which is good anyway, but if you start believing and telling yourself that you can do it, eventually that becomes a reality.
Yeah.
So look, you are very special as an individual. I don't care who you are, what background, where you come from. I think it's 1 trillion to 1 a stat to become a human being.
Wow.
So the fact you're a human being
is
a blessed anyway. So you've got this one opportunity, unless you believe in reincarnation, but that's you don't want to leave a good legacy. But you know, whatever, you've got one opportunity. You know, do what you can. Be the best at what you can. Now, by the way, you don't have to be a successful business person and have 500 staff and have a big. That doesn't matter. Be the best at what you can be, and you'll be satisfied internally.
Yeah, and you know what? That belief that you have in yourself is the thing that's going to make or break you, fundamentally. And recognizing, as Jay says, we are all incredible. You know, every single human being has magic within them. The problem is most of us don't switch it on.
Yeah.
So start switching it on, and live your magic and explore all this potential that you've got within you. You can do incredible things. Jay started with nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Went into a town with 280 recruitment agencies, and it's a small town, and he came out in the top 5, and you know, went on to sell the business. It was a £5 million business. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
It's not so crazy when you start believing in yourself. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you so much.
Huge pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
watching. And I know
watching.
the viewers are going to get a lot from this.
Thank you.